Hello and welcome to Good Morning Europe. It's Monday the 6th of June. I'm Andrea Balaitho and these are your top stories this hour.
Britain says it will send long-range missiles to Ukraine, despite warnings from Russia that it will extend its targets if such weapons are delivered. Veterans get ready to mark the 78th anniversary of D-Day and to pay their respects to fallen soldiers as another war rages in Europe. And Queen Elizabeth expresses her gratitude for festivities marking her 70-year reign. Despite not attending every event, she says she is still committed to serve as monarch.
President Volodymyr Zelensky travelled to the Zaporizia region in Ukraine's southeast on Sunday, making only his second public visit outside the Kyiv area since the war began. He met with internally displaced Ukrainians. Zaporizia is now partly under Russian control. Back in the capital, the railway infrastructure appears to have borne the brunt of Russian missile strikes in the early hours of Sunday morning. However, the Kremlin claims to have targeted a site storing tanks supplied by Europe. Kyiv was hit for the first time in months, having largely been spared recently as Russian forces concentrate attacks on Donbass and eastern Ukraine. But Russian President Vladimir Putin has vowed to extend his targets if the West carries through with its promises of sending longer-range weapons to Ukraine. Despite the warning, Britain says it's going ahead with sending Ukraine such a shipment of rocket artillery, which are more modern than those currently being operated by its troops. In the meantime, as Moscow continues to throw all its power into capturing the Donbass, one of its airstrikes struck in the eastern city of Druskivka, destroying buildings and leaving at least one person dead.
Britain's Queen Elizabeth has written a thank you letter following a weekend of festivities, marking her 70-year reign. While acknowledging she had been unable to attend all the events, she remained committed to serving as a monarch. In a spirit of gratitude, the Queen said, "I have been humbled and deeply touched that so many people have taken to the streets to celebrate my Platinum Jubilee." 4 days of celebrations ended on Sunday with a pageant along the same route as the Queen had taken on the day of her coronation. More than 6,000 people took part, including celebrities and costume performers. It was a spectacle just like Saturday night's concert in the palace and the Thanksgiving service in St. Paul's Cathedral, both attracting thousands.
It was very exhilarating, a once-in-a-lifetime experience, especially when we actually got to see the Queen come out on the balcony. That was just, everyone around me was crying, especially singing the anthem.
Didn't expect to see her today, because she was not very well, I suppose, but yes, absolutely great to see her.
The Queen's last-minute appearance on the balcony of Buckingham Palace brought to an end the special extended weekend of celebrations.
Well, I'm here at one of thousands of street parties taking place across the UK. Despite the chilly weather, people gathering to celebrate Her Majesty's 70 years on the throne. And it's been an incredible 4 days of celebration. We saw the Queen herself appear on the balcony at Buckingham Palace to watch that RAF fly past overhead. She led the lighting of the beacons, beacons lit all across the country and across the Commonwealth too, to honour that 70 years on the throne. We had the Platinum Party at the Palace, an absolute musical spectacular featuring the likes of Duran Duran, Andrea Bocelli and the rock band Queen, all led by Prince Charles, who paid a touching tribute to his mother, to the Queen. He calls her Mummy. And of course, all rounded off with a huge platinum procession through central London at a cost, I have to say, of some £15 million to the taxpayer, featuring 10,000 people, and all rounded off with a rendition of the national anthem sung to the Queen, led by Ed Sheeran, rounding off an incredible 4-day event, the likes of which we've never seen before and we're unlikely to ever see again. Victoria Smith for Euronews in London.
Crowds gather at the viewpoint of Omaha Beach in France. The vast stretches of wet sand extending toward distant cliffs show the immensity of the task faced by Allied soldiers on June 6, 1944. More than 150,000 troops landed on then Nazi-occupied Normandy shore.
We can't forget. We can't forget what happened 78 years ago, and you know, we're seeing it happen in some ways again, and so people need to open their eyes. And I don't think what's happening in Ukraine is. I don't think people are confused by what's really happening there, especially when certain terms are being used that, you know, brings up and evokes the past in ways that are not appropriate.
We're now showing our respects at the site here, and to give the grandchildren a sense of what World War II was like, the sort of scenery where they landed on the beaches, and the amount of people that have given their lives to sacrifice, you know, for the freedom of everyone.
Monday marks 78 years since the largest seaborne invasion in history. Each year, ceremonies are held across Normandy to pay tribute to the achievements and sacrifices of those who fought there.
Five European Union nations who fear waves of refugees from impoverished African countries are calling for an end to the EU's voluntary solidarity on migrants. Interior ministers from the Mediterranean nations of Italy, Cyprus, Greece, Malta and Spain wrapped up 2 days of talks in Venice on Saturday.
While fighting illegal migration and smuggling, we're fully in favour of more legal pathways for migration to Europe. We cannot let the smugglers decide who comes and lives in Europe. This is why my country is investing in bilateral cooperation schemes with origin countries, offering more opportunities for work permits in exchange for better cooperation in returns.
The summit focused only on controlling potential refugees from Africa coming into southern Europe amid concerns of hardship following the blockade of Ukraine's grain exports. It did not address the millions of Ukrainian refugees arriving in northern EU nations.
This is the moment Iranian Revolutionary Guards seized 2 Greek oil tankers in the Persian Gulf last month. The country's supreme leader says it's in retaliation for the role Athens played in the US seizure of crude oil from Iranian-flagged tankers that same week. This because of a violation of sanctions imposed by Washington in Tehran.
Iranian oil was stolen off the coast of Greece, and then the brave soldiers of the Islamic Republic made up for it by seizing the enemy oil ship. The enemy accuses Iran of theft through widespread propaganda in its media empire. But it was they who stole our oil.
The seizures have escalated tensions between Iran and the West after talks in Vienna on the nuclear deal have been stalled. Since the deal's collapse, Iran has a rapidly growing stockpile of enriched uranium. It insists its current nuclear program is for peaceful purposes. But United Nations experts and Western intelligence agencies say they're mindful Iran had an organised military nuclear program through 2003.